Yo, 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 what's going on, man? It's Big Game James. I'm back here in effect, and guess what? Crap on in the building over here, man. Guess what? Crap on in the building. I got some green right to the right of me or your left or what the hell ever. But guess what? I got Mr. Joe Castro of the Philly podcast. We have been talking back and forth. I've been really feeling he been killing these interviews, man. He been killing them player
Appreciate it.
interviews.
Appreciate
And I
it.
just been really being, I'm like, okay, I've been kind of keeping an eye on it. And I said, you know what, man? It's time, man. It's time to go ahead and look up and let's do this podcast and let's do some good back and forth. But hey, man, what's going on with you? And I appreciate you joining me tonight.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me, man. Honor to be on here, man. You've been killing it yourself, so definitely a big fan. Outside of the actual team side of it, but yeah, no, I'm happy to be on here. I'm excited to have a nice little back and forth, like you said. I think we could definitely hash some things out for us. So
we're gonna see because I was listening to you earlier and you said, you know what, this is a we'll see year for everybody. And I've been saying that for day one since the 2021 came out. I said, yo, it's we'll see. I'm not falling for Kool-Aid. I'm not jumping out here doing all this and that, and then I get let down again. I'm not doing that. It's going to be a we'll see year. And when you look at this NFC East as a whole, it really is because you have a lot of unknowns. You have a lot of unknowns with you guys. Obviously, with Carson Wentz gone, you have a new quarterback that's going to see if he's going to be able to be the guy. You got draft picks, nice little bit of free agency. So you guys are in flux. You got some turnover. You got the Redskins who they're still building. They got a new quarterback in Fitzpatrick. We'll see because they do have a good defense. They made the playoffs. And then you got the Giants who they had a pretty good defense, but Danny Dimes, you got Saquon Barkley coming back. So I just feel like the division is in flux and it's up for grabs. But before we jump into any of that, man, give me a little background about what you're doing. How long you been doing your podcast? Really got you started in this, and then we'll kind of just go from there, big dog.
Yeah, it's Joe Castro, Philly, the podcast. I started it actually a year ago now. This is like our official year this month. I don't know what day, but I know we started like the audio side of it this month of last year. But so, I just started it because I feel like, you either had a baby or a business during COVID. You know what I'm saying? Like you had to figure out some way to kill time. So I chose to just talk on YouTube a little bit. It's been honestly a blessing, been able to, talk to some reporters, some players, and just other good creators, man. So it's been a blessing. We've, almost at 2,000. So it's a lot of fun. And like I said, really just started as a whim. I'm sure you talked nothing but Cowboys before you started your podcast.
Right.
And that's just kind of how I was, and with my boy Brandon that co-hosted with me. That's just kind of how we were. We were always talking anyway, so we were like, let's see if we can get some people on the internet to follow and talk with us a little bit.
Right. Well, hey, I really seen how you've been going, and like I said, you've been definitely killing them player interviews. So much salutes to you here. But now we done being the nice type. We was cool being nice. It's all good. Now we're gonna talk these Philadelphia Eagles, Dallas Cowboys. So first of all, you guys got a new coach. How do you feel about your new coach? First of all, because when I looked at your new coach, I ain't gonna lie, I'm like, who is this guy? What is he? What is he about? Well, how do you feel about the transition that you guys are going through with your coaching staff?
One thing I'll say is I agree with you 100%. I think we all, and if anybody in Philadelphia is not telling you this, they're probably gassing a little bit, is I think we all were kind of like, who is this guy? But realistically, if you go back to the history of the Eagles, most of our coaches were, who is this guy? So I don't think that the past, I want to say 4 now, because I'm not sure about Andy Reid, but I'm pretty sure he was a positional coach. But I don't think our last 4 head coaches were ever head coaches. So it's a trend with us. We like to take that guy that we think we can kind of breed. I like the guy. I love his energy. I love what he brings to the table. But the more that it goes on and the more that he starts saying all these quotables, he's kind of putting himself in the position that he's going to either be great or he's going to be a meme in a year or two. So, I really do. Like I said, I appreciate the energy. I think that it's an underappreciated part of coaching and of the game in itself. You got to make these guys want to come to work, right? So, yeah, I like it, but it has to prove itself. He's saying all the right things. Now it's time to do all the right things for me.
Okay, well, you know what? Hey, I feel you. That's a young guy. It seems like you like getting it, like you said, you like getting these guys out of nowhere. Yeah, we'll see how it happens. Let's jump in this draft right quick, big dog. So, Cowboys, we already had a tie all together because you guys traded up with us. We end up getting a 3rd round pick for you. Thank you. We appreciate that. You guys moved up. You got Devontae Smith. We moved down. We got Micah Parsons. So, I'm gonna tell you how I feel, and let me tell you how you feel about getting your Devontae Smith over there.
I'm upset about Micah Parsons. I'm gonna say that right now.
Yeah.
If you guys watch me, I don't, not just because I feel like I said this before the draft even started, and I stuck to this. If the Cowboys focused on defense, that would be the only way that would scare me in this draft, and that's what you did. You know, I feel like, and I think you can agree with me here. I think you guys threw a bunch of darts. How many of them will stick is to be seen. You know, I think outside of Micah Parsons, I like Kelvin Joseph. I know there's some people that are down on him. I make a lot of fun of him, you know, boss me and fat and everything, but I did like the tape of the kid. So I think like outside of like maybe your first 3 picks, you threw a lot of darts, but you threw them in the right direction, you know? So, but Micah Parsons in general, it hurt. I like the trade, you know what I'm saying? Even though it was with the Cowboys, I love the trade because, you know, we basically turned the number 6 pick into Devontae Smith and a 1st round pick next year. So I'm cool with that. And we got to, you know, kind of double flick off the Giants. So that's always nice. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But at the end of the day, I think Micah Parsons fills a huge hole. I would have been way more scared of you guys getting Patrick Surtain or J.C. Horn. And I think the feeling's mutual there. I don't think either of us really wanted to see us get a good cornerback in this draft. But I think you guys hit a home run. And I think we did too. I think obviously they have to play. I've been hearing great things about Micah Parsons out of his camp. It seems like he's becoming a leader already over there, which I hope so, because honestly, I was tired of hearing everybody giving him all these character issues and all that. You know, I'm a Penn State fan. So it's like, you know, listen, he went out there and balled, and that's what you need from him. But Devontae Smith, I love Devontae Smith.
Are you worried about his size? Are you worried about that size like everybody else is? Because I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. Like I'm slim fit dude for real. And when I seen him out there, it looked like me.
See, I would be worried about it. I would be worried about it in college.
Because we ain't seen no. I mean, listen, because y'all had Deshaun Jackson, but he was small, but he wasn't small like Devontae Smith small.
Yeah, he's frame-wise small.
You feel me?
His frame is just like, he's got them small bones, right? Like that's how it feels.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not afraid though, because realistically, I feel like if I was afraid, I would have been afraid way before Alabama. You know, I think once you go to the SEC, they're not just letting you go because you're small. You know, they're going to still hit you. So, I think that he has all the talent in the world. He didn't get hurt in Alabama. I think he had maybe one injury. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was towards the end of the season. But either way, I think he had one injury his whole career in Alabama, which says something, right? I mean, that says something. So, I'm not worried about it. I think, football is a gladiator sport. The injury rate, I think, is like 100%. Everybody's out there with something. So, yeah, I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be fine. He just got to learn how to get down quick. That's it. Once you know the play's over, just get down. Don't let these boys take your head off, because they will.
I think you better just be doing 9 routes with him, because if you sick him over the middle, dog, people gonna be licking their chops. Hey, he a dog to me. But like I said, that's the only thing with just because when you get hit and you're small, you might be tough, but your body's going to take a little bit longer to recuperate because you just have a smaller frame. That's just what happens, unless, when you're younger, it does.
Yeah, I mean, his size scares me more with, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you back.
No, go ahead.
His size would scare me more so with the older staff. And I don't mean the older staff, our old staff. I don't know what was there, and this might seem like a reach, but the past 3 years that Doug Peterson was here, I don't know what was going on with our injuries. It felt like it was every other day.
Right.
And I don't know how much you love, basketball. I know you're a Dallas fan, if I'm not mistaken, but 80s trainer came out and literally said, we don't work to get them healthy. We work to get them healthy enough to play the game. So it's like, sometimes maybe that's what was going on with this training staff, because I feel like a lot of these guys just got injured, re-injured, weren't the same when they were out there. So I'm hoping with this new staff and the way that they're running their practices a little bit more amped up, that it will simulate the game a little bit more, because that's like the only draw I can grasp at now, because it's like you guys had a bad year as far as injuries. I won't take that away from you, but
we had a crazy year. Like you rarely have those type of years. And this is my thing. When you have a year like that, you kind of have an injury-free year the next year, because you rarely see injury-marred years back-to-back like that. That
unless you're the Eagles.
Unless you might be the Eagles, but
like
injuries,
injuries
like that though. I just don't see that happening again. And plus, rest in peace, the strength and conditioning coach is not there, so they got a different one. So we'll see how that kind of goes. But you guys was hit on the injury front. I think Brooks went out, your guard went out. Lane Johnson was dealing with issues. I know Dillard has been dealing with injury issues, and you saw it happen with our offensive line. So that's really going to be the key, if you ask me, but both teams, is that front. You get what I'm saying?
I think on both sides. I think our defensive line is going to anchor our defense, because it is what it is. I want everybody to be good, but do I have a lot of faith in our linebacking and cornerback core? Right now, probably not. We've had Jacoby Stevens on, and I'm hoping that he'll be great. We've had a lot of players on. I'm hoping that they'll be all great, but you got to prove it to me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really trying to hold back my optimism with these guys, because they're young. It's a new system. You just don't know. So I really look at our defense and our offensive line to really anchor these units. We're very, very young, and I think you guys are too. Like at linebacker and in the secondary. So I think it's going to be a battle of the trenches for both of our teams. So it's going to be exciting. It'll definitely be exciting.
And it's funny because, as you say that, I think the Cowboys are like average age around 25 years of age, late 25, 25.7. And then obviously with the new influx of the rookies. But I would tend to agree with you. It's going to be relied on the trenches, because if you look at both our teams going into the matchup, in my opinion, offensively, we are the stronger team. Defensively, you are the stronger team, especially in the trenches. You got a front that's pretty ridiculous. You still got your I can't even beat the Fletcher Cox. You got who else is in that middle?
BG in the middle. Javon
Hargrave. You still got Brandon Graham. You've Derek Barnett. I think you got some good draft picks that are coming in as well that may compete.
Just got Kerrigan over.
Kerrigan, that was a big pickup for you. Now, I wonder that I'm gonna ask you, because you just interviewed him not too long ago. Where do you think Kerrigan fits in with you guys?
I think he's the perfect example of what this team is going to be. I think he's going to be all over the field. Not all over the field. Obviously, he's not going to be a cornerback and a safety, but I think he might be with his hand in the dirt as a regular defensive end. But I would not be surprised to see him slide on the inside, see him take his hand out the dirt, be a edge rusher. I could see him do a lot of different things. Something that he was saying, and something that even our coaches were saying, that it's not going to be necessarily a scheme. It's not going to be one of those things that they go out there and say, all right, we run a 4-3 base. This is where we're going to be. It's going to be a lot of misdirection and a lot of movement early on in the snaps. And he's saying he's going to give a lot of these guys a lot of freedom. So when you tell me you're going to give guys freedom, I tend to think you're going to give the vets probably more freedom. So I could see him being Ryan Kerrigan, moving around a lot and kind of making those decisions pre-snap. I could definitely see him being kind of an extra linebacker out there, in the sense of putting his players in the right direction. Because if you look at our linebacking core, they are young. There is not one veteran there. So maybe you get it from somebody like that can kind of see the whole field. Because Ryan Kerrigan is more than just what he'll give you physically, in my opinion. I feel like he's another coach out there. So, I'm looking at him like that. I really do see him kind of moving around pre-snap. Maybe he'll put his hand in the dirt for the most part, but I definitely see him just coming off the edge and just wreaking havoc. Just trying to confuse the quarterback. One of the quotes he gave me was, pressure doesn't just come after the snap, it's before the snap too. So a lot of just, confusion. That's what I'm hoping for, and I think he's going to be kind of the ringleader there.
Yeah, I mean, Kerrigan has always notoriously give Dallas problems because, like he said, he can line up all over the field. He's versatile. He brings a lot of leadership to the table, and he plays hard every single play. He's got that all-out motor. I think when we're talking about Dallas and when we're talking about our team being young, it is especially in the linebacking core with Sean Lee retiring. He's out. We talked about the Jalen Smith thing. They were talking about he could have been traded and dangled. LVE was in the news. Tyler said they ain't going to do it. But when I think about Dallas, and you mentioned Micah Parsons, with the same way that I said about Dak Prescott being the leader of our offense, I feel like Micah Parsons is going to be that. I feel like Dallas wanted Jalen Smith to be that guy pre-injury. He had the injury, and I think they were trying to still believe he could be it. But those physical limitations, I believe, still hinder him. And I just feel like maybe football, intelligent-wise, maybe he's just not the guy to really run the defense. When I seen Parsons, he gonna be the guy, dog.
He just knows football. That's dog. I hate to give him props, but it's like, you know,
you're gonna have to.
Yeah, dog. He just knows football. So many people, I was having so many arguments because I'm telling you, I was, before the beginning of the draft, before everything started, I wanted Micah Parsons at 6. Like, I was that in love with it. Like, I really, really liked what Micah Parsons was. And it wasn't just because of the on-field stuff. Yes, he wasn't asked to be a pass coverage guy. He wasn't asked to be that 90% of the time. But when he was asked to do it, he went out there and did it. You know what I'm saying? He didn't, you know, give no lip and say, "Nah, I'm a better rusher." He went out there and played his position. He was the leader of that defense from last year, the previous season, to this, you know, most recent COVID season. If you watch Penn State, it was like a totally different defense. It was like embarrassing to watch. You know what I'm saying? And there was other people that opted out, but he was the guy. He was the guy that kept them going, and it was an embarrassing defense. So it sucks watching him go to and I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. It was either you or the Giants. I knew I was going to have to deal with it. It is what it is. I hope he individually has a good career, but you know,
I'm telling you, dog. If you know, we got Dan Quinn in the building is talking about going back to playing fast and, you know, not thinking so much, and they're going back to what the 2018 mantra. But to me, and like I said, in my opinion, bouncing off everything you're saying, I feel like there's certain players that come in the league that just have that. I don't just have the factor when they say the it factor, but I just think he, not just the it factor, I just think he has a factor. When I listen to him, his personality, he cool as hell, he funny, and I feel like he get everybody around him real loose and they just like being around him. Then you have the playing ability, and this is what I told people. He only played 2 years of college football. True freshman, true sophomore, then sat out. So he is young. And they're talking
smart,
about
well beyond his
smart football player, and he loves the game, and he went to a team he absolutely loves and his family loves, and it means everything to him. You put that with the ability of moving him around like you talked about with Kerrigan. If Dan Quinn moves him around and gives him the freedom, rush the passer, talking about playing him at the Mike linebacker, but make him be able to be a factor in so many other places, that's when I feel like this defense, which has been bad hasn't been, I'm not going to say bad because Marinelli had a middle level, but we saw it with Mike Nolan. But we had the talent, but you just got to get the coaches with the talent on the same page for it to really mesh, to really grow. But if you let Micah Parsons do his thing, I'm telling you, it's going to make this defense 10 times better. Watch how this defense grows if Micah Parsons is the man.
I will say one thing about the NFC East. I feel like we are, and now I feel like we're changing that, so I feel comfortable saying this, but I feel like we've always been the division that wanted to be original football. Like we've held on to a lot of very traditional ways of football. If you look at all of the teams, not just, you know, the Eagles or the Cowboys, like we're very invested in our offense and defensive line. We still have running backs that will carry the ball 25 plus times.
We still old school in the NFC.
We really
it's
are.
Still it's an old school division. It's still run, smash mouth. Yeah, smash mouth.
I think that's changing, and I think the linebacking position is probably the best example of that. Because, like you said, with the Micah Parsons, us having a lot of basically safeties at the linebacking position right now, and just trying to figure out how to kind of catch up with the changing ways of the NFL. So we are very old school, but it does feel like we're at least starting to catch up. You know what I'm saying? We're starting to change it up a little bit.
All right, so let me ask you this: we're gonna jump into this matchup, but I want to ask you your draft. Who was your favorite pick? Who was your least favorite pick in the draft?
My favorite pick, I'm going to go outside of Devontae Smith because I kind of feel like that's obvious.
Right.
I'm going to honestly, and this, I didn't feel like this in the beginning, but going back, I'm going to probably say Landon Dickerson. And the reason why I say that is because, you know, like we said, we are very into building in the trenches. But if he's as good as marketed and he can stay healthy, I know those are two big ifs. You know, and then Andre Dillard is back healthy. He seems like he's, you know, ready to fight. It's just so many options at one of the most valuable spots in the NFL. Like, I mean, outside of quarterback, I can't think of a more important position than offensive line, and especially one that can move all over. So as a person that's not necessarily looking at the Eagles and saying we can be a 10, 12, I'm not really looking at that this year. I'm more so looking at we need to build and see what we have. We might have so much value on that offensive line. That's really why I like that pick, especially if he pans out. The worst pick, I'm gonna probably say Milton Williams, and it's it's no hate on him.
Is it because do you think that you reached for him?
Yes, and we need a cornerback so bad. Like he's gonna at best, he's gonna be our third defensive tackle. We could have took our second, you know, cornerback. We could have took our first linebacker realistically because we don't have any linebackers. So it's just, I just don't get it. I just don't get why you would do that. Like I feel like as a team that had clear needs, I feel like you reached at a position that you didn't necessarily have to. And then if you look at all the cornerbacks that were taken right after, you know, him, it just didn't make sense. Then we have to reach for Zach McPherson. So I just kind of felt like it was not the player we needed. I don't hate the player. I hate the pick.
I got you. And see, that's where I come in with Dallas on their third round pick with Chauncey Golston. I think my guy Jim Law's in here. Shout out to you. My guy Chauncey Golston. Here's the thing. I will agree with you when you said I don't hate the player. It was the pick. And my thing, a lot of people don't hate Chauncey Golston at all. I just feel like that he's more right now. If he's coming in the left side, DeMarcus Lawrence is back there. I just feel like he's an average pass rusher. I know they got him for his run stopping, but if you drafted somebody in the third round, right, you could get a run stopping defensive end later. That's what my thinking is. This
was a weak draft for that. This was a weak D-line draft.
You feel what I'm saying? So Chauncey Golston, not a bad player, but if you're like, we really got him because he can really stop that run. He's great on the run. He can set the edge. Well, in the third round, you could have got that later if you wanted a defensive end that could set the edge and good in the run game. Because my thing is, you still got to be able to rush the passer. And I feel like he's an average pass rusher. Doesn't have really any pass rush moves and gets stumped early, but he is versatile and he can slide down the line. So I feel like they can slide him inside maybe on pass rushing downs because he's quick off the ball and he can split the double teams. So I feel like that's where you could see where potential could be, but still as a third round pick, I was like, I feel like you could have got that later. Just like with Nashawn Wright, the cornerback from Oregon State. I love what he can do as far as the size, his ability. He's not stiff. He can run with receivers. He has really good time speed. But I'm thinking like, is he going to, as a third round pick, is he coming in starting? Is he beating out your second round pick, Kevin Joseph? You feel me? Like those are questions to me, because if he's beating out your second round pick, then what's going on with your second round pick?
Exactly.
You feel me? So, and I'm like, is he going to play in the slot because he's not taking the other side because that's for Trevin Diggs? So that's my only thing where you got him in the third round is where is he going to play in the third round? Because you drafted him in the top 100. I'd like to see those guys on the field early.
And one thing I will say is, and you tell me if you agree with your team, because I know the one thing I always say about Howie is just like follow the damn board, take the best player available. And while maybe I didn't love all the picks, outside of the Zach McPherson pick, I think that he did that. I think that he went and took the best players that were available to them. So while I don't like every single player, I could see how he was where he was, on their depth chart. Like if I could change one pick, if I could change, 2 picks, switch 2 picks, and make the draft perfect, I probably would have took Christian Barrymore in the second round if you had to, scratch that itch at a defensive tackle position, take the best one in the second quarter or in the second round, and then go ahead and get you an offensive lineman in the third. I don't know if, necessarily the guy you wanted in Leonard Dickerson would have been there, but I just felt like that would have made more sense. You know what I'm saying? You take the best player at that defensive line position instead of, the second, maybe the third. I don't know. But I'm not terribly upset with it. It just kind of got me a little mad at the time.
I feel you. And just like I said, I wasn't mad at the draft. All I was like, if you're drafting these guys in the top 100 in the third round, I just feel like those guys got to play. And if they got to play and you drafted, because your second, third rounders got to be on the field early. And if they're on the field early, who are they replacing? Where are the spots are they going to be at? That's my only thing. Do I think they can eventually be really good players? I see it in them, but where are they going to play right now? So that's just my kind of thing is but you know what? I've been hearing about Nashawn Wright, been everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Been tearing it up. And when I've been listening to him, he's one of those guys that looks like he's a studier. He's been talking about Richard Sherman. He talked with him. And I like that. I like a guy who's in the lab, always want to study, always want to get better. Yeah. And you're 6'4", and they say, and when he said he talked to Dan Quinn, they didn't talk football. He said they talked a lot of just life and things of that nature. So that made me feel good too, because you're getting a bond and a closeness, and you can bring more out of a player when you do that. In my opinion, that's just me.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, and like I said, you have to make these guys want to come to work. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is that period of time where we all get hyped off, one-handed catches and random stuff in gym shorts and a helmet, right? This is the time we get amped off of. But this is the time that you can really see who a man is. If you see somebody go out there and try and be a leader out of practice, to me, that says something. If you're out there at a voluntary practice and you're out there yelling at your boys like, let's get, you know what I'm saying? That says something to me. I want that on my team. I don't know in what capacity you can play, but we can figure something out with you. If you got, you know what I'm saying? If you're working that hard, there's always a spot. I feel like once you get to the NFL, there's nothing but talented people. It comes down to scheme and who's going to be out there when you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? When you don't have to out there really sweating, really out there putting work in and getting the trust of your people. So I think, I've said this before, we'll see. I think that every single team in this division has, I don't want to say the exact same shot. I'm sure that there's differences and there's stuff that might put you a little here and there. But in my opinion, we all got the same shot. In my opinion, we all can go out there and shock the world. That's really how I'm looking at it.
I don't know if y'all shocking the world though. Y'all ain't shocking the world. Y'all ain't shocking the world this year.
This is when we shock the world.
No, y'all not going. This is where y'all not gonna shock the world. So I'm gonna tell you right now, we're gonna go to the players' position, because this is where I'm gonna tell y'all definitely offensively. Because I was hearing you trying to talk about some players on the Cowboys, and I was like, hold up, dog.
I know I'm gonna get it.
That ain't adding up. First of all, let's start at the top. Quarterback, Dak Prescott. We got Dak Prescott, Garrett Gilbert. I think we got I don't know if it's JT Barrett is in the camp or whatever, against Jalen Hurts and Joe Flacco. What do you feel about that?
No, I've been very transparent about how I feel about that. Look, if Dak Prescott is healthy, he is the better quarterback in the division. He's the best quarterback in the division.
He's the best quarterback in the division.
When he's healthy. When he's
he's only been hurt one time.
He's only been healthy. I mean, if we look at number of games, though, I think he's like bordering Carson Wentz number. I'm just saying.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Because you know what? What's so funny about this? What's so funny about this? Because y'all was always arguing this Carson Wentz thing, whatever. But it's so funny when I seen Jalen Hurts get in the building, how the things that y'all love about Jalen Hurts. Oh, the leadership. He came in and took command of the huddle, and he's a leader of men. Everybody's following him. I just love that. We were saying that over here in Dallas about Dak, and y'all was like, no, he ain't no. But now all of a sudden y'all changing y'all tune now.
No, yeah, I think there's, and I've said this before, I'm honestly the black sheep of the family when it comes to Philadelphia Eagles. Okay. A lot of people think I'm hating on the dude, or like I don't believe in him. I think he has all the intangibles in the world. I love the stuff that he says. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have a lot of down south friends, and I'm a sucker for a good quote. And Jalen Hurts can like literally just give you a whole half hour of like, you know, make you want to go out there and go to war type quotes. But I hold my reservation till I see something. I feel like last year, you can judge him off that if you want. I think if you judge him off of just last year, you see an up and down guy. You see a 50-50 guy. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you know what Dak is going to give you when he's healthy. So I give that to you. I will never, ever, you know, sit here and lie until I see it. But if Jalen starts going out there balling, I'll be the first one. I'll be the first one retracting my statement. But right now, it's just unfair to even Jalen Hurts to put that type of expectation on, because he hasn't had a real offense. He got thrown into a fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, the situation's similar in the fact that Dak went out there and had to obviously, you know, kind of fend off a hero for the Cowboys. Everybody loved Tony Romo for the most part. Yeah. So, you know, that sucks. Don't get me wrong. But Jalen Hurts came into literally like the house was on fire and the firefighters just left. And we were like, all right, Jalen, go in there and see what you could do. And he literally just stood in the fire, and he didn't get shaken. He didn't want to leave. He didn't, you know, say it's this person's. Like, there's a lot of things that he could have done that he didn't do. And I'm happy about that. I'm proud of that. As a man, that's something you want to see. Can he play football? We will figure out. We will figure that out this year. So, long story short, I give you guys quarterback. You guys definitely
exactly. Go ahead, give that to us. We appreciate that. So I got a quick question from my guy, DJ DOC31. He says, ask Mr. Castro how he feels about passing up on Justin Fields at the quarterback in the draft.
That's a good question. I will say, early in the draft process, I was trying to open my audience up to the idea of us drafting a quarterback. Reason being is because I like Jalen Hurts for a lot of things that really don't have much to do with on the field. I don't know too much about him on the field. We had a number 6 pick. At the end of the day, how often do you feel that you should be there or that you will be there? I was on the Trey Lance trade. I was on the Justin Fields trade. I like both of them. You know, we didn't. So I'm kind of upset. I don't want to say that I'm upset we didn't, to be honest. I think that you made a statement. As the Philadelphia Eagles, you said, Jalen Hurts, you got a chance, but we also have three first round picks next year. You know, I think this is basically your dress rehearsal. This is your audition. Basically, I think that the bar is very, very, very high for Jalen Hurts. Like, Jalen Hurts has to prove
he has to go out and play crazy.
He does, and it's almost unfair. I feel
a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and it might not be obtainable. You know, like, how do you judge him? Do you judge him on wins? Do you judge him on his stats? Do you just go off the eye test and I just got to trust you guys to know if he's good or not? Like, how do you really judge this kid? So we got you a wide receiver. I don't think any of our quarterbacks have had that. So we got you a wide receiver. We got you another dog on the offensive line. Our defense looks like at least it's going to be competent. So this is our best foot forward, but I still think that he has to go out there and go out of his mind. So we have 3 first-round picks next year. You know, like you said, this is your shot. This is your dress rehearsal. After that, all is up in the air, because I would not be surprised to see all those first-round picks go for a quarterback.
Yeah, I can agree with you like that. So let's jump to running back. We have Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard. You guys have Miles Sanders. And who's your other guy? That little short guy.
You got Kerrigan Johnson.
Oh, you got Kerrigan Johnson. Didn't he come from the Lions?
Scott. Yep.
Okay.
Boston Scott. We just drafted Kenneth Gainwell. We got a whole bunch of people. Jordan Howard still.
Yeah, I ain't worried about no Jordan Howard. So let's go on running backs. How you feel about your running back core?
I know this is going to be a point of contention, and I'm cool with that.
Okay.
I got all the faith in Booby. Listen, I think Miles Sanders can be a top. I'll say
he better than?
7.
Is he better than Ezekiel Elliott?
No, I won't say.
Okay,
I will not say he is better than Ezekiel. I mean, he could. I think he has the talent. He has the potential.
No, he don't. No. I
think he does. I think
how
he
does. How does he have the potential? Listen. Hold on. Before you say that, okay.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
No, if you look at Miles Sanders' touches, the system that he's in, just look at the Eagles in general. Mm-hmm. I feel like the past decade we've refused to be a running team. Outside of 2017, and Coinky Dink, we win a Super Bowl. But anyways, his touches have went down actually from his rookie year. His rushing numbers went up. I think he was 150 yards behind Zeke, and he didn't even hit 200 carries. I think he had 181 or something like that. Miles Sanders, and this was a bad year for him, if I'm being real.
Right. This is a bad year for Ezekiel for being real. It was his worst season. I think the only thing that Miles Sanders has on Ezekiel Elliott, if you want me to keep it real, is the speed. He just has the speed.
I trust Miles Sanders. I trust Miles Sanders to get better every game. It's still his second year. What year is Zeke in now? It's his fifth, sixth year. Where are we at with him?
Yeah, I think it's his third and the fourth year, ain't it? He ain't been in the league that. Oh no, I thought you was talking about Miles. No, he's been there since 2016. So this will be fifth year.
Fifth year, okay.
Sixth year? Yeah.
I would be very excited to say right now. Like I said, I would not say that we're better at the running back position, but I would be very interested to see where Miles Sanders will be in his fifth year if we use him right. That's as far as I can go with that. I do think that he has a lot of talent. I think that he was misused his first 2 years, realistically, and he still went out there and balled. So, I mean, he's a big playmaker. I think a stat that I saw was he has 5 rushers. Since he's been in the NFL, he has 5 rushes over 50 yards, and that's tied for first in the NFL. And the other guys had at least 100, 200 more carries than him. He's just not used right. So I can't say, I can't look at the cup, see that it's empty and say it should be full or it could be full and say it is, right? But I think he's a good player and I think that he can be great. I just think that we haven't used him right. So for that, I think that you definitely win. But I think it's closer if we use him correctly. I'll say that much. I think I can... That's not
here's my factor with that though. This is what I put us over the hump because I do like Miles Sanders. I think he is a good running back. I think Ezekiel Elliott, especially this year, I really feel like with that coming back, getting his contract, and we see these workout videos, and I know sometimes it's overhyped, but honestly, I really feel like Ezekiel Elliott is motivated. I feel like he does take it personal that he didn't hit the 1,000-yard mark. He's been the guy. He's been killing the NFL since he's been in the league, and he had the down year, and everybody's talking about him like Ezekiel Elliott ain't the guy no more. I think he's taking that personal, and I think he is going to bounce back. Do I think he has that breakaway speed that when he came in 2016? No, but I do feel like he's still a dominant as far as in between the tackles back. And when you lose your offensive line and you're running with makeshift offensive linemen, it does affect your running game. And now you have a Tyron Smith back. Now you have a La'el Collins back. Now you have a Zach Martin back. And Connor Williams has still been consistent. I think Tyler Biadasz is going to be a good center for the Cowboys coming out of Wisconsin. So now I think those are good factors of making Ezekiel Elliott, not saying he's going to be the 1,600 guy anymore, but a 1,200, 1,300 yard is definitely good for me, especially when you got Tony Pollard on year 3 in the wings. And when we seen that he got a little bit of time when Ezekiel Elliott was maybe nicked up a little bit, Tony Pollard has some shine. He's got the breakaway speed. He's versatile. They've been lining him up at receiver as well. And I think that's what takes us over there because you got 2 backs that you can flip and flop and you can mix and match in that backfield. And I feel like Tony Pollard is going to have a good year as well.
I mean, the potential is there, though. That's the one thing I have to say. The potential is there. Miles Sanders has a lot of talent. Kerrigan Johnson was a first-round pick. I don't think that was not for a reason. You know, I think he has talent, just hasn't been able to stay healthy. A lot of people like Kenneth Gainwell. A lot of people like Jordan Howard. A lot of people like all these other guys. But I'm looking at those first two. If we understand how to utilize those guys, I have a lot of faith that they can provide the production that we need if we just give them the touches and if they stay healthy, obviously. But you know, as of right now, we haven't shown that we are willing to be a running team. So until that happens, you know, I don't think they're going to be used right.
So go ahead and say we want a quarterback.
I'll give you that one.
So we got running back, we got quarterback, and we got running back so far.
So far. There's a lot of positions.
Yeah, it sure is. And we're going to go to receiver because I heard you talking some trash about some receivers. But now let's go to receivers.
All right, so let me just say.
Yeah.
Let me explain my Amari Cooper.
Explain this Amari Cooper thing, dog.
I was basically saying, obviously your boy Vach came in here. Vooch, I don't know how to say his name. Vach came in here. There we go. All right, so that's how you say his name. He came in here, you know, he basically said that the Kansas City Chiefs offense was better or was not as good as the Dallas Cowboys offense. He was saying in theory and application and something else. He was saying that Kansas City is not as good as Dallas offensively. Okay. And he also said that Tyreek Hill is not as good as Amari Cooper. So I said, I don't agree with that. I felt like Amari Cooper was more valuable. Tyreek Hill was more valuable to his team because he won them games. Now, I understand that, you know, against us, Amari Cooper had, I think, a 120-yard game that you guys won, and he had a 200-yard game that you guys won. But he also had a 5-yard game that you guys lost. He also sat out on the game-winning drive, game-winning play against Sidney Jones, coming fresh off the bench, and you lost the game.
And I feel that, but he was dealing with major injury that whole year, playing with a bad heel and having plantar fasciitis. If anybody had plantar fasciitis, have you ever had plantar fasciitis? Because I have. I have. It's nothing to joke with. It feels like they're literally sticking pins in your foot. I had it. You cannot walk on it. I don't know how he played on it, because once you get plantar fasciitis, you can't walk on your feet. It hurts too bad. So the fact that he was still going out there and playing, that's what people need to see. Now, just saying this, when you said Tyreek Hill, it means more to Kansas City than Dallas. I can't agree with that, because when Dallas traded for Amari Cooper, the offense with Dallas was 3-5.
That year
they got crazy. That year, Amari Cooper and Dak Prescott went nutty. Okay, so he did make the team better because he helped us get in the playoffs because he was the biggest addition. And guess what? He makes life easier for Michael Gallup and CeeDee Lamb because he's so good. Guess what? He almost had another career. Hold up. He almost had another career year with DiNucci, Andy Dalton, Garrett Gilbert. Still had a career year. Yards, catches, still doing his thing. I don't know about that, dog. I think it's because he has the cerebral attitude and people just look at him like, oh, because Amari don't say nothing. But come on, dog. Amari Cooper is a dog, and he does me.
Yeah, I'd never say he's not.
Because if you took Amari Cooper off the team, now CeeDee Lamb's an animal. I don't know if he can do it in year 2. I can't put that on him, but he's going to be a number 1. But if you took Amari off the team right now and you had CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup, I'm like, okay, we good, but damn, we need Amari, dog. That's how I don't know.
I think you move on from Amari Cooper, and you got money to go get yourself a defense. Like, listen, I do think Amari Cooper's good. I think Amari Cooper is good, and I will never. If you said, "Hey, Amari Cooper's coming to your team tomorrow," I'm gonna be hyped. I'm gonna make a video about it. I'm gonna be like, I loved you all along. You know, it is what it is. I'm gonna go try and get an interview like I did with Ryan Kerrigan. I didn't like Ryan Kerrigan a week before I met him, but listen, you feel me? Like,
he came on the team. What up, Ryan?
I was like, bro, how you been, bro? I haven't seen you since the barbecue, cuz. but no, bro, like, you know, it is what it is. I'm not gonna sit here and flat out lie. Right. My thing is, straight up, I just feel like he's just he's the lead singer of a very impressive group. Your offense is great, but you guys were behind most of the time. So a lot of that, you got people coming off you. You got people dropping off you like 4 or 5 yards as cornerbacks and safeties because you're down by 4 or 5 touchdowns. So you're getting just like I make fun of Dak, and a lot of people talk about Dak's comeback stats and stuff like that to lose games. Like, it's the same thing to me. I feel like a lot of these numbers are kind of inflated, and I do respect
you can't do that though, because here's the thing. We've seen tons of games where teams start getting blown out and you're losing by 20 points and your quarterback can throw you in the game. That's not his fault, but the fact that we've also seen quarterbacks who cannot throw you back in the game. We've seen when a team gets down in the NFL and a quarterback cannot throw you in the game, and that's why they lose. Dak can throw you in the game. So in those, and I'm not taking up for Dak and all this, but what I'm saying is you have to be able to have a quarterback that can throw you back in the game. Those stats can't be inflated if your defense is playing like trash. If you have one of the worst defenses in the league, you still have to have an offense when you're down 25 points. People say, oh, them stats is inflated. Well, how else was you going to get back in the game? You weren't going to run 20 times a game, were you any? You're going to have to throw the ball. You're going to have to scrap the run game. Anybody who knows any kind of football, you're going to have to scrap the run game. You're going to have to throw every single play. That's the only way you're going to get back in the game.
Consistent, though. It's just very consistent. So it's like, I understand that you're saying you can't. I think you can say that they're inflated. I think you say that you can't ignore them. I'm not ignoring that.
Did he bring Dallas back in those games?
Yes, he did. On the surface, yes, he would go back.
Not just surface.
But listen,
he brought us back in all them games.
There's more to it, though. My thing is, if you're sitting there watching the game and you see that he's having wider open throwing lanes because they're backed off of you,
that's going to happen, and you know that, dog.
I do, and I agree 100%. But that has to be factored into it. That has to be a issue too. If I'm not saying anybody can go out there.
If Jalen Hurts was doing that same daggone thing, you'd be like, yeah, but guess what? He still brought us back. Exactly.
No. See,
you wouldn't say that. You would say, oh, this garbage stats.
No, Chuck, last year is a perfect example with Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz in the beginning, and you can go back and look at I promise you, bro, I wouldn't lie to you. What's it called? If you go back and look at my videos when I was talking about Carson Wentz before even the Bengals game is when I got most tired of it. He would literally not do anything for the first 3 quarters, and then in the fourth quarter he would go over here and he would, he threw 3 touchdowns. Oh, he's nasty. That's not how I know. I knew from then. I was like, no, that's not how it's supposed to. I don't want to see that. I understand. I get it. It takes talent for you to throw the football in the NFL and score touchdowns and put up the numbers that Dak is putting up. And I gave you Dak. I said Dak is the better quarterback. But I also feel if we're going to say that and be honest about that, we have to be honest about how he's getting it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to realistically see how he's getting it. So the way that I saw, Carson Wentz bringing us back in games wasn't him bringing us back in games. It was him throwing for his life when the defense was backed off. They didn't have to worry about the run. They didn't have to worry about none of that. Like you said, he had wide open lanes. And at the end of the day, it is still playing football. It still takes talent, and I give that to you 100%. But I feel like the context, I see Cowboys fan only in here, or fan talk in here. Context. He kept saying that to me earlier. Context. So I feel like you have to put it in context. He was in blowouts.
Right, but so, that's not his
part of it.
But
it's not his fault at all.
That's what I'm saying. I understand what you're saying, but I still go back to the fact that if you're down 20-something points, you still have to have a quarterback that can throw you in the game. And if you look along the league, there's not a lot of quarterbacks can bring you back in the game and throw you in the game. Yes, defenses are going to back off. Yes, defenses are going to play more of a softer defense because you know what? We're winning. We understand that you're going to get easier passes. But when I watch the games with Dak, he wasn't throwing just in the fourth quarter. It wasn't down 25 something points in the fourth quarter and he had to throw freaking pass. No, it was continually all throughout the game. It wasn't in the beginning. It was all throughout the game. He was throwing the Cowboys back in the game. So I could understand when you're saying if it was just straight fourth quarter and we blowing them out and now you throwing, but that wasn't happening. It was happening throughout the game. So that's where I can't feel that.
Yeah, no, and like I said, he's a great quarterback. I said that he was the best. And our
receiving core is better too, right?
Oh yeah, your receiving core is better than ours.
So we beat your quarterback, running back. Let's go this offensive line too, because it's ours too.
No, it is not.
Yeah, it is. Okay, good. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it is. How is it not? How?
Our offensive line is deeper and better. Our front four, our front five is better than yours.
No, how? Right now. Okay.
Right, I will just. So you're telling me? Listen. We have three players. Our whole right side is Pro Bowl, if not Hall of Fame level.
Okay, so Zach Martin is a Hall of Famer.
Okay. Who else you got? All right. So let's.
So you gonna say Leo Collins is a bum? You gonna say because I heard you talking about Leo Collins.
Yeah, I ain't bringing up Leo Collins. That killed me. Nah, because I don't care about. Look, let's go. All right, let's go from player to play then.
Okay.
Let's go player to play. We'll go from our worst, and then we'll go from our worst. I'll say so. Our biggest question mark probably right now is our left guard, which is Isaac Seumalo. So your left guard, I'll give you your left guard. Your left guard is better than ours, right? I think you would agree with that.
No, we got our left guard Connor Williams. He's
not the rookie.
Yeah. No. He's our fourth year guy. He's about to go in his contract year from Texas. He hasn't been what we say like immaculate like the Zach Martins and the Tyron Smiths, but he's definitely been steady. He had a career year last year. So if you're talking about your guard with him, he can definitely bang with him.
Yeah, our guard, I don't like our guard. So unless Landon Dickerson takes over, then maybe we could talk. But if we're going with the same offensive line that we ended the year with on paper,
right?
Isaac Seumalo, I'm not saying I don't think he's bad, but I don't think he's great. I don't think he's top dog. And then if we go to left tackle, I mean Jordan Mailata or Andre Dillard. So I think we have better
Smith.
Depth.
Bye.
Yeah, I think we have better depth, but obviously I think that's not too close. Now let's go to where
you got better depth, but Tyron Smith, and I know he's hurt and he's injured, but still he's better than your left tackle.
I said, yeah.
Okay.
I'll give you that.
So let's go right tackle. You got Lane Johnson. I know you're gonna bring him.
Yeah, we got Lane Johnson, and we have.
But you don't act like Leo Collins is a bum.
He's not no Lane Johnson, and I'll say
he might not be a Lane Johnson, but he ain't super far away. Did you see his 2019 season?
And I learned today. He
was one of the best right tackles in the league in 2019.
He is not. He's coming off an injury, right? He is not Lane Johnson, bro. There's no
I'm
way.
Not saying he is not Lane Johnson. I'm not saying he's Lane Johnson. Okay, you got him, but Lane Johnson ain't the Lane Johnson he used to be. You can't tell me he is.
Lane Johnson been consistent when he's healthy.
When he's healthy, and he's been hurt.
He's been healthy.
2-3 years. He's been hurt.
Yeah, I mean it happens.
Yeah. How old is he? Like 32, 33? How old is he?
He's getting up there. He's getting
up there in them years. And D-Law was working him. D-Law was working him though.
Nah, bro. Yeah, we'll get to defense. Because that's another
guy. Y'all got the front. That's what you want to run to because you losing on the offense. That's why you want to run the defense because you losing offense. You ain't taking the offensive line, dog.
I'm telling you,
I'm gonna take Tyler Biadasz as our center, and I'm gonna take Tyler Biadasz. And I know he was hurt
over Jason Kelce.
No, he's up and comer though. No, I ain't taking him over Kelce. I'll give you Kelce. I'm only going to give you 2. We got 3.
So 3. No, we had 3.
Who?
Center, right guard. So Brandon Brooks, you have a better. Who's better than Brandon Brooks on your team?
At right guard, Zach Martin.
I think that should be a tie. Brandon Brooks is a beast.
Crazy in your dome. You're crazy in your dome. Ain't no tie. Ain't no tie.
Brandon Brooks is top 3.
And who's top 2?
Yeah, it's cool.
Quentin Nelson and Zach Martin. No, it ain't. No, it ain't no tie, dog.
Debatable, bro.
Okay, how? How's it debatable? When's the last time Zach Martin gave up sacks? He gave up 2 sacks in like 3 years.
Yeah, he Yeah, I mean, my man's just don't stay healthy. If he's still
Okay,
healthy, he
well,
coming out
Zach
looking
Martin
like
stay
Aaron
healthy.
Donald
This is
right
first
now.
year that he wasn't
Yeah.
healthy, and you see him flex that right tackle. He don't even play tackle. He don't even play tackle no more. He used to play that at Notre Dame. He just flexed out there and just killing people. You ain't taking no Brandon Brooks over no Zach Martin.
Brandon Brooks, when he's healthy, bro, he's one of the top. But you're right.
He's really good. So I'm taking
enough.
Zach. And I'm taking Tyron,
So
right?
it was 3-2. Okay.
3-2. And then I'm taking Connor Williams over your Samolo or whatever. I'm
Sam
taking
Malo, I gave you that. I gave you Sam Malo.
So that's 3.
Left tackle.
And then I'll give you Lane.
Yeah, you're right.
You're right. Leo Collins is right there.
All right, so you guys got the offense. The offense is better. I think everybody knew that.
Let's jump in the tight ends. Let's not run it tight. Don't run for no tight end.
Oh, come on.
Wow.
Come on.
So Dallas
Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert.
You've been talking about the Zach Ertz watch. He ain't going to be on your team. You can't count on Zach Ertz. He ain't going to be on your squad, dog.
All right. If we did just go Dallas Goedert, and I forget who.
Blake
Jarwin
and Dalton Schultz. He had a career year. Look at the stats, though. They weren't.
Yeah, he did his thing.
He was banging with Dallas.
I mean, Dallas played like 4 less games.
Why is Dallas better than Dalton Schultz?
Yeah, come on, man.
No, just tell me why.
On, man.
Explain.
First of all, look at his first 2 years. Last year was the worst measuring stick of all time. You can't look at last year and really put any. First of all, I think he played 9 games. How many games did your boy? Oh no, he played 11 games, started in 9. How many did Dalton play? And how far off was those yards? Not that far off. If you look at his first 2 years, Goddard's been doing the same thing. And that's behind Zach Ertz.
And this is the first year Dalton Schultz did anything.
Behind Blake Jarwin. If you can't beat Blake Jarwin, you are not beating Dallas.
But Jason Witten was there, so don't do that. So Jason Witten was there. Jason Witten. No, I ain't counting no damn Jason Witten. I'm saying because of his name, Dalton Schultz was never going to get no tick. That's what I'm saying.
My thing is realistically, if Zach
Dalton
Ertz
Schultz
is gone,
may be starting.
He might look if Zach Ertz is gone. That proves to me that this team, because I think that Goddard is ready to be the tight end 1. I think that he needs to just stay healthy, go out there and ball out. I'm gonna say stay healthy about everybody on my team. It's like I'm telling you, it's like PTSD. I'm telling you, we get hurt every 5 minutes. But either way, so if he stays healthy, goes out there and balls, he's gonna ball out. Like he's gonna be a good tight end. I think moving on from Zach Ertz is not only just saying, Zach Ertz, you're 32, we don't want to pay you more, or you're going to be 32, we don't want to pay you more. It's saying that we got Dallas Goedert. He's ready to go. I think Dallas Goedert might be better than Zach Ertz right now, if I'm being 100% honest. And he's definitely better than what Zach Ertz was in his 3rd or 4th year. So, I don't know. Goddard is a dog. Goddard is going to surprise a lot of people. We'll see.
What makes Goddard so good to you though? That's what I'm saying. Like
his block, everything. His block. He's an all-around talent. He's probably, I think per PFF he was top 2 in blocking as a tight end, and number 1 was George Kittle. So I mean, look, he's a great blocker, great after the catch. We have plays that are literally tight end screens for him. Like we don't do it with nobody else. Like it's literally for him. Because he's that good with the ball in his hands. And as a tight end, that's something you don't see very often. I know it's becoming a little bit more normal, but he is a wide receiver when the ball's in his hands. So I think that he has literally everything. And this is coming from somebody that saw Zach Ertz come up, and the Eagles, we might not want to admit this, but we waited a good 3 or 4 years, maybe 5 years for Zach Ertz to be the Zach Ertz that we had for like 3 years. Realistically. So like I love Zach Ertz, but Dallas Goedert is on trajectory to be way better, to be honest with you right now. So I think tight end, hands down. And then we got Hakeem Butler, who's like 6'6" and runs like a 4.8 or a 4.3. My bad. I saw like an infinity sign, like a 4.3. We have some tight ends. I like our tight end position. That's the one thing on the offense I think we take. Hands down.
I'm gonna give you Dallas Goedert. I'm gonna give you the tight end on because Blake Jarwin was hurt. That's the only reason I'm gonna give it to you, because Blake Jarwin was hurt. But now, I ain't gonna do the special teams on. I don't be doing the field goal kicking. But let's jump on this defensive side because I know you've been wanting to get on over there.
I mean, you tell me where you want to start.
Let's start on the defensive line.
I don't think it's close. I really
it's not close. I mean, go ahead and talk about your defense.
I mean, look, we do have some age on our defensive line. So as much as I talk junk about the Milton Williams pick and all that, I do understand why they wanted to go defensive line. I get it. You know, we are old, you know, but we're talented. We're productive. You know what I'm saying? And with our rotation, I don't see that changing much. I think the defensive line is one thing that every coach inherits from the Eagles. Like, you might have nothing else on this team, but you're going to have a good defensive line. So I feel I have all the confidence in my defensive line. I will take every single player on my defensive line in a redraft. If we were redoing this and the Cowboys defensive line and the Eagles defensive line was on there, I'm taking every single one of my guys back. Straight up and down. Y'all can keep D-Law, his overpaid ass. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
See, you know what? I've been on D-Law, but I'm gonna tell you, D-Law is the best player on the defensive line. But don't sleep on Randy Gregory. Like Randy Gregory is a bum because he's been killing y'all. I know he hasn't played a lot, but he's been killing y'all when he has played.
Yeah, and Alden Smith went crazy for y'all too. He had a good year for y'all.
Yeah, but he ain't there. But I'm telling you, Randy Gregory though, that's the guy you need to watch because I'm telling you, he's the guy that has the bend. He's the guy that has everything that you want in the defensive end position. But we understand what's been going on and what's happened to him and everything like that. So I get it. But with a full off season, dog, I'm trying to tell you, Randy Gregory. I think he's the truth. It's just been everything on the off field that's really hurt him. I'm going to give you the defensive line because you have a lot of guys along that defensive line and you guys got depth. You guys got quality backups on that defensive line. So I'm going to go ahead and give you that defensive line. But
we got one, y'all.
You got one. But when we got one of these linebackers, yeah, but I know our linebackers had a bad year, but we got some draft picks that might do some things this year.
I won't even sit here and lie to you, bro. We had got one linebacker I felt very comfortable with. I shout out to everybody. Shout out to we had PJ Edwards give you a shout out. He likes the channel. I hope he doesn't watch this. I do not feel very confident in any of our players right now. I love them, man, and I hope that I'm wrong. But this is where the we'll see comes in. This is definitely where the we'll see comes in. I think that, like I said, I think that Alex Singleton I think all these guys are good at different things, but none of them are good at multiple things. Nobody can run, stop, and pass cover. You know what I'm saying? Like, a couple of our guys are really, really almost elite at run stopping. And some of them are like, you know, very good. I won't even say elite. None of them are really elite. But some of them can cover, but none of them can do it in a tandem. You know, none of them can do it at the same time. So until they show me different, and the Eagles do not like linebackers. They just hate the linebacking position. It's clear. So until they show me different and they show me that we have somebody that's good and can be that guy at the position, yeah, you got linebackers all day. You could be your linebacker, bro, and I probably would have took the Cowboys after our linebackers. Woo! Last year was interesting. I'll tell you that. Exactly. We got some tight ends paid last year. I'll tell you that.
Exactly. Well, I mean, we got some tight ends paid. We got a whole bunch of running backs paid. But with the addition of, and here's the thing, Micah Parsons and Jabril Cox are still rookies. They got to prove it on the field. So I'm not putting all that investment in them. But what I am going to say is that I do like the coordinator that they brought into the team. And just as you were saying, they're talking about playing more freedom, not have to think so much, where you can just more react to the offense instead of having to think every single play. And I think that's where Van Der Esch is not a bad linebacker. His injuries have been his problem. If Van Der Esch had been staying healthy, he's a good linebacker. Jalen Smith, I think he's okay. I think he's more like limited to what he can do. But I feel like when you add a Micah Parsons, it's going to bring up Jalen Smith's game up. And I feel like Micah Parsons is going to bring the linebacking core game up. So I think we're going to have to take that one. So you only got one, and that's the tight end position. You feel me? You only got one.
Tight end, D-line.
Tight end and D-line. You got the D-line. We got linebackers. Let's jump in this secondary right quick, because didn't y'all get Darius Slay?
Yeah. Now, are we breaking up the secondary? Because I feel like the safeties and cornerbacks can be two different.
Yeah. We'll split that one. Let's do corners.
So corners. We have Darius Slay, and then we got a bunch of guys. I mean, I think, I don't know. I can't sit here and say that we're better with our cornerbacks than you are. I think we're top heavy. I think you have a young dude in Trayvon Diggs, right? Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah.
And then who's the other dude? Is it you still got the Adobe or whatever the hell his name is?
He went over to the Bengals, and I like to. Well, that's what I'm saying. Our second guy right now is going to be battling, because it's either going to be a Kelvin Joseph or Anthony Brown, who's a veteran, and I don't care for Anthony Brown.
So
he's trash.
Makes it weird for me. That makes it weird for me, because I want to say, all right, well, at least we have a better number one than you on paper. I would say Darius over Trayvon, and then, but we're in the same spot. We're battling a bunch of for the second spot with a bunch of guys. The one edge I'll give you is that at least you took care of it in the draft, so you guys got draft prospects kind of doing it. We got Zach McPherson, this dude Michael Jacquet, and that's it. Like, that's literally it. So like your second position, your CB2 might end up really being way better than ours, because I don't think we really have anybody of note that's, kind of battling for it. But maybe this is the bias in me, but I'll say I think having Darius Slay probably puts us over the edge at that position, in my opinion.
I'm gonna only give you that because he's a veteran. He's done work. He's reputable. I think he's still a good cover guy. Trevin Diggs is still young. He's coming in his second year. We got a lot of inexperience. Like I said, Anthony Brown ain't nobody I'm jumping up and down about. I do like a Jordan Lewis, but I don't think they'll give an opportunity on the outside. I think he's more of an outside corner than a slot guy, but they're going to put him in that slot. And then I need to see what Kelvin Joseph does. I love the ability, but I still worry about other things with Kelvin Joseph, and that's just me. I ain't talking about nobody else. But that's just me. I know the ability, but is he going to put in the work in the classroom? Is he going to put in the work in the studying table to be great? That's the thing I want to see with Joseph, because he has the talent. The talent is crazy. But is he going to do the stuff on the outside field? And you're still a rookie, and there was issues. And then our third round draft pick, I thought they overdrafted him. I like the talent, but I thought you could have got that later. And then when I look at Maurice Kennedy, we got another rookie who really got no time last year, Reggie Robinson. These are all unknowns. So, yes, I will give it to you, because Trevin Diggs is still young, and this secondary is just a lot of unknowns. It's a lot of unknowns. And the only reason why I give it to you, because Slay is more the veteran. He has proved in this league, so I'll give it to you on that. With the slimmest of margins, because if you take away Slay, I think I might bang with you.
Who's your slot? Because I think that has something to do with it.
The slot. The slot is they're probably gonna, if they put Kelvin Joseph on that outside, what they're projecting, the slot is probably gonna be Anthony Brown. I think he's better in the slot than Jordan Lewis. But Anthony Brown, he's still suspect to me. They say every year.
I'm gonna have to give us a little bit more of a margin, because I think Avonte Maddox is a top end. I don't want to say top end. That's maybe a little bit too high. But I think he can be a very, very good slot cornerback. I just don't think he could be outside. He's too small. But he can play with you in the slot. So I think he's gonna be. If we can put him at the slot, that makes our cornerback room a little bit better. Outside of that, though, yeah. If he's starting on the outside, I have no faith in it. But if he's in the slot, I think he'll definitely excel. So, but we'll see. I definitely think we got it by a little bit at least.
Yeah, I like I said, I'll give you that on the cornerbacks because of it's. I mean, it's a lot of unknowns on both of our sides of the ball, especially at the cornerback position, because you got a lot of young guys who you just don't know what's going to happen. You have to see this is a lot of unproven. So yeah, that like I said, I'm gonna give you the Darius Slay because he's a veteran, he's done it, and I feel like he can compete with a lot of the top receivers still in the league right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you that. Jumping to safety, you guys just got somebody in the building, Anthony Harris. Cowboys had been talking about him all year, and what was crazy was how y'all got him. Y'all got him for the cheap. How did that happen?
As far as I know, honestly, this year has been the craziest year because there's been a couple. Even the Ryan Kerrigan signing was so quiet. Like a lot of these were just kind of out of nowhere. Nobody really thought it. I guess he just wanted to be here with Sirianni. Like he wanted to be here with Gannon. He knew the system. He felt very comfortable with what we were telling him, what the system was going to be. He has a lot of connections to a lot of guys in our defensive coaching staff, I guess if you want to put it. Obviously, we brought Eric Wilson over here, I think, right before him, or maybe right after him. So there was like a clear connection. You could tell he just wanted to be back around his guy. And I saw a video of him walking into the building, and when he saw Nick Sirianni, it was like, my God was good, bro. You know what I'm saying? I didn't realize that they had a connection like that.
Right.
It was cool. You know, you could tell that it was his guy. I love our safety. If I'm being, I think that Rodney McLeod, within all the dust last year, I think he had himself a hell of a year. And he's talking about being ready for week 1. If he is, I think we have not only in the division, I think we have a top tier safety duo. If I'm being 100% honest, I think our safeties can really fight with just about any duo out there in the league. And I really do believe that. Like, they individually might not be the greatest, but we've gotten good play out of our safeties, especially the past 5-6 years. I'll say, like, since we got Malcolm Jenkins, we kind of went over that hump where we just couldn't find safeties. And I think we've gotten good play out of these guys. And Anthony Harris is very young. Reminds me a lot of what Rodney McLeod was when we first got him. And now Rodney McLeod is kind of taking that Malcolm Jenkins role. So it could be a beautiful thing. It could all fall on its face and they could both suck. But I think, you know, the way that it's looking right now, I'm all in on these guys. I really think we have a very, very good safety duo.
I'm gonna give it to you. You know, I'm not a hater or a liar or anything like that. But when I see our safety position, I love Donovan Wilson, but you know, he still has to prove himself. He got some tick toward the middle of the year, and then we saw what he could do. We had all felt what he could do, but it was the time we finally saw it. But he still has to prove it a whole season. DeMonte Casey came over from the Falcons. He's he's a holdover from Dan Quinn. He looks healthy, but you know what? You get what I'm saying? It still need to we still need to see. And then
I'm getting a sticker. I'm getting a Will See sticker.
We need to see.
Trademark it.
Yeah, I mean, we need to see. And when I just look at the safety position as a whole, I believe we got I can't remember his name off the top. We got a cat from the Lions. I just feel like safety was still not addressed for the Cowboys. We got a
Did
kid
you guys
from
sign Tyler Coyle?
Yeah, they got a kid. I think
he's from my home state.
Yeah.
He used to go to UConn.
But here's the thing. When you're trying to get a dog safety, you need to address that position. You can't get them in free agency all the time, undrafted free agency, or draft them in the 6th round. There's a reason why they're going that late or not getting drafted. You get what I'm saying? And it feels like they're always trying to do the feel-good story at the safety position instead of just attacking it in the 1st or 2nd round, addressing it, and moving on. You know what I mean? And it feels like they're always trying to convert people. Oh, after the 4th round, that's the conversion time. Anybody who was a corner and you're tall, we're going to see if you can play safety. Now, Izzy came over from South Carolina, 6'4". But the thing that made me feel good about him was that he was a top safety in high school. I went to his high school days. He played the safety position in high school, and he was very effective. When he came over to South Carolina, they moved him to corner because they wanted to use his size to be able to attack the receivers and be able to morph him and get more physical. But he came in at safety. So that's what gives me maybe some hope with him. But other than that, I just need to see. I don't know what Casey's going to do. I know had 8 interceptions in 1 year, but you know what? That was over there. I ain't seen you doing it in Dallas, and Dallas has a problem with getting turnovers. You know what I mean? So we got to see. Donovan Wilson, I love him, but I still feel like he's undersized. I feel like if he lays the boom on somebody, he could break his body. He might get injured. I think he's more of a playmaker too, so we'll see. I think he can slide and play free safety. People say he can't, but I think he can. So for that aspect, Anthony Harris is a player that the Cowboys wanted. It was a player that I was very interested in. You got him for the cheap, so I'm going to have to give you him. And I think McLeod, I like him too. I think he's a pretty good player. I think he is ascending. So I'm going to have to go ahead and give you the safety. I give you the corner. I give you the defensive line. And did we give you tight end?
Tight end.
Okay, so you got 4. I got quarterback, running back, wide receiver, offensive line, linebacker. So I got you 4-3, and I'm gonna have to say our punter is better than yours too. We got him off the streets, and he was booming he was averaging like 47 yards.
Bro.
Yeah.
I had Aaron.
You better go. No. You better.
I had our punter on my show, so I'm gonna have to fight for him.
Okay, well you fight that. Our punter came off the streets, and he was booming them like 40 something, like 45 yards.
My man's came from Australia, went to Auburn, Alabama. And now he's in Philadelphia. Shout out to Aaron.
I shout out to you because he was on your show, but we beat you.
Right. Yeah, I'm being biased. I'm being biased. That man ain't never kicked a day in his life in the NFL. We gonna see what he is. I'm being biased. It is what it is.
You know what I mean? So yes, we beat you by the slimmest of margins, but we got you. You get what I'm saying? But it's gonna be interesting.
I like this though, because I feel like we do this all the time, like within our own self. And I feel like me and you, at least, we're very as unbiased as we both could be. Right. You know what I'm saying?
You don't have to yell and argue at each other and scream at each other the whole daggone time. You got to be a realist and be able to really talk about the team. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't on here to be hating on the opponent. I'm on here to talk, have an intelligent talk about the team and the matchup, because this was a great talk, because you opened my eyes to some things, to what I can be looking forward to when the Dallas Cowboys play, which we're going to go to this matchup before we get up off of here. Monday night, week 3, y'all at Dallas. How do you feel about that matchup? I know it's too early. We haven't seen the teams, but just looking from afar, how do you feel like coming into Dallas week 3 with possibly Jalen Hurts? You know damn well y'all losing that game. Y'all losing week 3, and this is not even being biased. But I just feel like y'all not going to be ready offensively. Y'all going to be offensively challenged. I'm not saying our defense is going to be there, because I feel like the defense is still going to have struggles. But between y'all being offensively challenged and our defense being okay, I think our offense is going to, with Dak Prescott being there, I just feel like we're going to be able to attack you on all levels. And I feel like that's going to be the key. I think quarterback play is going to be the key in winning the game.
I think we'll beat y'all once. Last year, if I want to go off of history, last year we won, I think, all of our Monday night games. We won most, if not all, of our primetime games, which, I mean, one of them was the Saints. So, I mean, if that means anything, then that means something. But realistically, I think that we'll go out there and beat you guys. Yeah, I do.
How?
I do think that.
No, y'all not gonna beat us, dog.
We have a chance to get it.
Everybody has a chance.
Guys have just as much questions. I think you have just as much questions with your team as we do. I don't know what Jalen Hurts is gonna go out there and be at week 3. I don't know what Dak is gonna be week 3. I mean,
how you not know what Dak is gonna be week 3? You can't do that.
Your defense did not get visibly better.
I know that, but you just said that you were worried about Dallas more if we went hard on defense in the draft, and that's what we did.
Definitely, but they're not. They're not tangibly better. We can't say that all these guys are going to work out, right?
Right, so but you can say DeMarcus Lawrence. You can say DeMarcus Lawrence and Randy Gregory are going to affect y'all, but especially Randy Gregory gives y'all problems.
DeMarcus Lawrence has 1 sack on us? DeMarcus Lawrence in the time he's played us has 2 sacks, 1 sack last game?
But he is dominant in the run game too against y'all.
He is. I mean, yeah, it's always a close game. So it's an
But
NFC East division
but
game.
come
I
on
don't
though.
think that we're going to be counted out.
Let
I'm
me
not
ask
going to
this.
lay down and die. I don't
I
think
you.
that we're going to go
But
out there
let me
and get
ask
whooped.
you this though: when we played y'all the first time, and we had Ben DiNucci. You shouldn't have won. Y'all shouldn't have won that game. We should have beat y'all that game. If we had a better quarterback, we would have blown y'all out, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
And y'all had your defensive line. You had Fletcher Cox. Oh, he did get hurt. He got hurt. No, he got hurt.
But I think it was later. But either way, I mean, Carson Wentz was just trash that game. And then
right,
I don't know. And then Jalen Hurts the next game wasn't better at all. So maybe you guys figured us out, but we also don't have that coach anymore. So there's a lot. You don't know what we're gonna run. You know, like that's a very big.
He is a rookie coach too, though.
He's a rookie coach too. He definitely is. I mean,
that's week 3.
Things that can go either way. I think that it can go either way. So, like I said, I'm not hugely overconfident about what the Eagles are going to do, but I don't think we're going to go out and get blown out by any team. And I definitely don't think we're going to get blown out by the Cowboys. So, I think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be a very good game. I will say that I think we can go out there and beat y'all. I think we can go out there and beat y'all, but I do think it'll be split. I think y'all going to win one, we going to win one. But I think we're gonna go out to Dallas and whoop on that ass a little bit, you know.
No, that's not gonna happen. You know damn well that's not gonna happen. Like I'm already telling you, week 3 y'all getting smacked. I mean, and I think it's gonna be a beatdown. I think y'all might be close early, like it was like when we played y'all at the end of the year. It might be close early because y'all hyped up and whatever. But once Dak still can get his feel of the game, I feel like Dak is really going to get at you. And honestly, I don't even think it's going to really be a Dak Prescott game. I think it's going to be an Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard game. I think the run game is really going to get y'all, and I know y'all got that front. And that's why it's going to be great, because as great as y'all had that front, Ezekiel Elliott has still killed y'all with that front.
Yeah, I mean, hey, at the end of the day,
he's owned y'all with that front.
At the end of the day, though, all that matters is the W's at the end of the year. The Cowboys have not been able to do that.
That's your only chance, because y'all playing us at the end of the year, and y'all going to be out of it. We going to go to the playoffs, and we ain't going to care, and that's how y'all going to get your dub.
I'm telling you, bro, if it comes down to December, you know how it goes with Dak, bro. With the Cowboys,
no, it don't. That was with Tony Romo, dog. That's way back in the you took it back. That don't apply with us now. The only way y'all gonna beat us at the end of the year is when we go into the playoffs. Y'all gonna be, because y'all was 4-11 last year, right?
Yeah. All right.
So 4-11,
4-11-1, yeah.
Okay, so y'all gonna 4-11-1. So y'all gonna be 6-10 this year.
So, bro, you know what I would love? If I'm being 100% honest, and all hate aside, I would love for the NFC East not to be the laughing stock anymore. Like I would love for 2 of our teams to make the playoffs. Like, for once again, I miss those days. I miss, the 2000s where it was really like, who's going to have to face the Cowboys? Who's going to have to face the Eagles?
Yeah, the Giants. Say that again. Like, who's going to face the Cowboys? Say that again. You notice you mentioned us first.
Yeah, no. I was trying to be nice. You know what I'm saying?
I know you were. You was telling the truth. You know who run that NFC East?
Not y'all. Especially not these past 26 years. These past 26 years.
Okay, well, that's because but y'all ain't win nothing. You only won 1 in them 26 years.
It felt good, though.
I know it did. Y'all going, and that's what y'all gonna live off. See, anytime I argue with an Eagle fan, but we won the Super Bowl 2015. We won it before y'all. That's the only thing you're gonna live on, man. Y'all ain't gonna win it again for a long time. You know it.
Bro, before we won that Super Bowl, that's all I was hearing from Cowboys. Where them rings at? All the memes and stuff, bro.
Y'all still gotta catch up.
Hey, we gonna catch up. We gonna catch up. And I'm a Nets
damn fan well y'all ain't catching up.
I'm a Nets fan too, so I'm looking at two championships this year. All right.
Okay.
I'm looking at the Eagles and the Nets winning a championship.
Well, I don't know. I need to see what my Mavs is doing, because we need to turn up, because I know they're playing these Clippers right now. I know, and I was listening to you about them daggone Nets. Before we get off here, let's talk some basketball right quick.
Yeah.
How do you feel? How do you feel about your Nets?
I said it before the season ended.
You've been a Nets fan the whole time.
Yeah, I've been a Nets fan my whole life. When they were in Jersey, you know what I'm saying? you know what I'm saying? I've been a Nets fan my whole life. My dad and my whole family are from New York. They're all Knicks fans.
I know. I never got to go see the Knicks. I hear the accent. So how the hell are you from New York and you like the Eagles? Why ain't you a Giants fan?
My whole family, I couldn't pick when it came to baseball. That was the only team that I'm a New York fan in. I like the Yankees. But like, my dad was a Knicks fan. I hated the Knicks because he would always talk about them. And I was like, all right, then I'm going to be a Nets fan. My first game was a Giants versus Eagles game. And I just didn't I didn't like his team. You know, it was what it was. I was mad young. And that's just kind of how we bonded. So, like, 30 years later, I got Eagles tattoos and stuff like that. And it took over my life. But I don't know. But either way, the Nets, I think we have a real shot. It comes down to Nash and moments. That's what I need to see. I haven't seen it yet. The Celtics series, no offense to the Celtics, I wasn't really in tune. That
was nothing to talk about because when Jaylen Brown got hurt, that lost my interest because y'all weren't even going to compete.
Got hurt at the end.
Y'all ain't competing.
It was bad. So I really wasn't putting too much stock into that. But now that we go against Giannis, I hear a lot of people thinking that Giannis has a chance. So let's go. I love it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love to hear that. But it comes down to Nash because I really did not like Nash being our coach. And I'm still not 100% behind it. But he has to prove. There's just so many other people.
You think he was just gifted it?
I do. I think Kenny Atkinson honestly should have never lost that job. What Kenny did for this team was ridiculous. And I feel like once we got some big names, they felt like you need a big name coach. Yeah, and they kind of let Kyrie and KD and not James Harden at the time, but they let them take over. They let them just be like, oh, you don't want him? All right, let's go get you somebody. Like, but we're winning. We just did something that we didn't expect us to do. Like going to the playoffs was crazy with D'Lo, and I hope that it all works out, and I think it will. But I think Nash was kind of a poor decision. But it is what it is. Yeah, I just want to see a ring.
I didn't like that. How I don't like. This is my opinion. I don't like when guys just because they played in the league, they get the opportunity over guys that've been putting in work just because they were a great player. Just because you was a great player, don't mean you're going to be a great coach. I think that's a fallacy people need to really back off because great players don't make great coaches. A lot of people who weren't great players are actually the better coaches. You get what I'm saying? Because they get to analyze the game and there's less ego for them rather than the big name guys. There's more ego with those guys. But you know what? It's going to be interesting to see, KD, Kyrie, James Harden. I ain't going to lie. I'm excited to see. I want to see him go against these Sixers. I'm frustrated because Embiid got hurt. It's like, damn, dog, why you tearing? I don't care if it's a slight tear. I don't want no injury on him because I don't want no excuse. You feel me?
Exactly.
I feel like if they win, they're gonna be like, well, Embiid was hurt. He wasn't at full strength, and that's why I don't need him at full strength because I really want to watch that series. I want to watch them two bang against each other, and I want to see what comes out of that. I want to see what my Mavs can do. I don't think my Mavs is ready for this right now because we don't have an inside presence. KP, he's frustrating. I like the trade. I wanted him to come over. I know he's not a inside guy full time, but you still got to be able to make plays for him to work him in that inside, not sit him on that perimeter, let him just shoot threes all day because he's 7'3", man. I know he's only 220 pounds, but I've seen slim guys that height can still maneuver, and when he's on and effective, he can get you 12, 13 rebounds. Right now, I'm watching him at halftime. Dallas is down 3, and he has 5 points.
Damn. That's not good.
You feel me? He's supposed to be your second guy, and last game he hit a dagger 3, but before that he had like 8 points, man. That can't happen. Luka's a dog, but we can't put this all on Luka. This can't be the Michael Jordan of the Dallas Mavericks, dog.
Yeah, I feel you. I definitely
feel what I'm saying.
Yeah, because I think that we're kind of similar in that retrospect. We are weak at the center position. Like it's one of those. We don't even have a center. Like I wouldn't even say we're weak. I feel like you have to have something there to be weak. Like we just don't have anything there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one of those positions that like I think we're probably the only team in the history that literally is just like, all right, whatever you do at center, go ahead because we're not going to stop you. Like Like we're just
I
gonna
mean, but
do
y'all
everything
got
else around.
DeAndre Jordan. He ain't even getting no
He's
tick no
trash.
more. I know he's
He's
trash, but
trash.
I
He was
mean,
the slowest player in the NBA. In the like first week, they did a stat,
I
and he
think
was
he got fat
legitimately
off
the
that
slowest.
money. I think he got a fat
Oh,
off
he
that
definitely
money.
did. There was no reason he needed to be on this team. There was no reason. Like, I understand having to give up Jared Allen for, it sucks. I like Jared Allen. I think he's
I
gonna be a
like
dog.
Jared Allen.
Yeah, I the whole trade for Harden kind of sucks, but if you got a championship, it doesn't matter in my opinion.
Right.
But it's like DeAndre Jordan is just trash, bro. Like we're running with Blake Griffin right now,
Right.
Because he's that
And
bad.
he
DeAndre
ain't even doing
bad.
nothing.
No, I think DeAndre Jordan will come back in the game. I think that this series we might see more of him if it depends on what Giannis does. Like if Giannis really does go down low and just say, y'all not going to stop me down here, I could see us putting DeAndre Jordan in there and just being like, go foul the shit out of him for a couple minutes. Like,
and he has that length.
Exactly, and see what you can do because ain't nobody going to stop him. Like we're not putting KD on him. Like it is what it is. Like you just, hopefully you don't score 150 points and beat us. Like that's really where we are right now. We just got to stop Middleton. We got to stop everybody else.
Right.
And just, because nobody's stopping anybody down low. That's why I do want to see Embiid go out there and play because I don't want excuses. But as like a smart basketball fan, Embiid is going to drop 50 on us a game, probably.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to even be that hard for him. So, as a fan, I definitely don't want to see him play us. But as a basketball fan, of course, you want to see the best matchup, right?
Yeah, you want to see the best players play because, like you said, it's always going to be the what if or the excuse of, well, he was hurt and he didn't play and that's why you won. That's the first thing that's going to come up, and I just hope that doesn't. And it just really frustrated me that he got hurt because Embiid is a really good player. We have waited for so long to watch him play, and he basically showed and proved what a lot of people thought he was going to be when he came out of Kansas. You know what I'm saying? And they had waited for it, and he's the truth, and I want to see him play against the best. So it's going to be interesting. We'll see how this goes, man. But I really appreciate you jumping on here, big dog. I had a great time, man. We're definitely going to have to do this again. Man. Especially during the season, man. If the game is coming up and you ain't busy, let's do the game matchup. I would love to do it. I had a great time with you, man. I really appreciate you. Really appreciate what you do on your show over there. Like I said, I know you're not Cowboys. If you Cowboys over here, I know you probably ain't gonna check them out. But I do want to say, Cowboys fans, he has great interviews. He's getting these players. He's getting these Philly players. He's getting the people. So, man, just on the GP of great interviews, go check it out. So, if anybody doesn't know about you, if there's any Philly fans in here, I know Cowboys like, man, F him. Nah, y'all shouldn't do that. He's a good guy. Just at least tell him what you're doing and what you got going on for your podcast over there with the Philly thing.
Yeah, man. Like you said, Philly the podcast. We have players on, reporters on, obviously other great content creators. So we have a lot of fun, man. If you want to do some intel on the enemy, you can come on over and just talk. It's a good community. It's a fun time. So I had a great time, though. I do appreciate you bringing me on because this was a lot of fun. This was what we needed. This is what the NFC East needed. We needed a calm conversation, a little therapy, just hash it out. Just hash it out. I lost, but I feel better after,
Exactly, because see, here's the thing that I like about what we did today. So many times when you get the content creators, it's always like, people in the chat, they want to see y'all going back and forth and talking trash. But you know what? It's logical. It's good conversation. And at the end of the day, we ain't enemies. We just we liked our football teams, but this ain't no hate. We ain't no enemies, and this is just good talk, good intelligent talk. And I really enjoyed this because, like I said, I was listening to your podcast. I don't listen to other people's podcasts. I'm gonna keep it real. So I went over there and I started listening to your stuff, and I was like, okay, I really can rock with this guy because he speaks intelligently about his team. He doesn't seem like he's the guy that's trying to jump up there and argue with you, and we can have a great conversation. And this is the type of thing, like you said, we need in the community. You can have the back and forth, but when it's intelligent and it's good back and forth and it's not the yelling and screaming and stuff like that, that's what makes this thing great, and that's what builds the community as a whole. So I just enjoy your presence. I enjoyed the time, and I can't wait to us have a good talk. And on that week 3 matchup, we still gonna have a good time and talk nicely. But I will tell you, when you get that L, I'm gonna go in on you, dog.
I'm coming in with the Birdman hand rub on week 3. I can't wait.
Yeah, okay, because I'm gonna be like, man, didn't I tell you about Jalen Hurts, man? He ain't ready. Didn't I tell you your coach wasn't ready?
I'm gonna be changing my whole tune. I'm gonna be like, I was trying to tell y'all we had the best, quarterback in the league now. Like, we'll see that.
He said, "What I tell you about Jalen Hurts?" I said, "Well, I tell you about Dak Prescott, dog."
I hope we both good. I hope both of us are undefeated until we see each other. Because that's the best way. That's the best way for it to happen, man. A rivalry ain't a rivalry.
Me personally, I want Jalen Hurts to succeed because I feel like he does have the intangibles. I feel like everything catch up on the field because I want to see those battles with Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott because I think they will be really good battles because I feel like both of them are like the same type of players. They have all those intangibles, and then when you look on the field, just like with Dak Prescott, I feel like, when I saw Carson Wentz, I feel like Carson Wentz, I'm going to end it like this, naturally was the better quarterback, if you understand what I'm saying. Naturally, he was the better quarterback. But he didn't have those other things that Dak had, and I felt like that's why Dak was better, and it takes a lot. I've seen tons of people that are great, gifted, but they don't have that up here, and they're not leader of men. And that's important in a locker room. That's huge in a locker room. You can have talent, but if you can't lead them people and they don't want to follow you, it don't matter how much talent you got. They ain't going to follow you. And I feel like when I look at Dak, that's his edge. And when I see Jalen Hurts, I like that about him. And I feel like if he can do the on-field stuff, because he already has the stuff in the locker room, I feel like y'all have something there with Jalen Hurts, just in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think I agree with you 100%. I hate Carson now, so he can kiss my butt. I really don't care. You can talk all the junk you want about Carson. But, no, I mean, realistically, I think that Jalen Hurts and our head coach are probably in a very, very similar situation. You got the people looking now. Like, we are watching. We want you to succeed. We want this to, and Philly's a tough place to really get that. Yeah. So Philly's a tough. So you got our attention. You're wearing all these cool shirts, Nick. You're saying all these cool quotes, Jalen. Now it's time to go out there and play some football and win some damn games. And the ultimate goal for me this season is not really a win-loss thing. It's really just the ultimate eye test. I just want to see us play better. So, I don't think that that's too much to ask for. I think we'll see it. But, I'm bringing that smoke every week. It is what it is. I'm going to say that we win until we lose. I did this last year. Me and Brandon would do like the game predictions before the game. Every game, I'm like, we're going to win this. There's no way we're going to lose again. It is what I have no type of chill when the season's on. But, yeah, I'm unbiased now. But
Well, yeah, we're definitely going to see, man, and I appreciate our time today, and I'm definitely going to do it again. So I'm going to just straight end this off of here. I'm going to end this with the music. I'll be able to talk to you later. But once again, I appreciate you. Please go check out his podcast. This man got a lot of good things going on. I know it's Philadelphia, but that doesn't matter. He's still a great content creator, and please go support, and let's continue to get those likes up over there and build that channel up that he's got going over there. So appreciate you, big dog. Joe Castro of the Philly podcast. Big Game James. We're going to do it again week 3, and we'll be talking to you soon. I'm out, and so is he. And we'll see. Peace.